Hello, everybody. It's Walter, your favorite historian, educator, professor, and social studies extraordinaire, here today to talk to you about an upcoming book that I am writing. The book is a fictional story entitled Creating a Parliamentary America. It is a project of historical revisionism, whereby our founding fathers, instead of giving us the Republican form of government that we have today, with three separately elected branches, each being able to fully check the authority and power of the other, our founding fathers would have instead given us a parliamentary form of government where, of course, you are aware that the head of state and head of government are separate from one another, and the functioning executive, is actually a member of the legislature. In my parliamentary government, we have a dual executive where we have a president who is our head of state, but the actual functioning of the government and running of the government for most intents and purposes is overseen by what's known as a premier, or in the modern context in many parliamentary countries, a prime minister. All right. It will be a while before I fully hone in on exactly how I want this parliamentary government structured for the purpose of this book. But in any case, our founding fathers in my book will have decided to give us that structure as opposed to the Republican government that we currently have, all right, with a separately elected president, separately elected Congress, and executive appointed and Senate confirmed federal judiciary, all right? Now, my motivation behind this book, quite simply, is the fact that, ladies and gentlemen, is almost what we had in this country anyway, if you weren't aware, all right? America's founding fathers, indeed, James Madison, all right, in his proposals for reforms for the Articles of Confederation, Madison, number 7, would have had the president chosen by Congress, like I've indicated in my video on here. America almost had a parliamentary system. And Madison essentially, indeed, almost gave America a parliamentary system with that suggestion had his proposal been adopted. Congress would have chosen the president, all right? So in all likelihood, this individual would have almost certainly been a member of the legislature itself and would have probably continued to serve in a legislative format, all right? That essentially, with the executive coming from the legislature, that would have given us a parliamentary system, all right? The executive and the legislature are one in the same. The executive is born from the legislature, and they continue to serve in a legislative format, being able to vote on bills and introduce them, in addition to serving in an executive format and directing the day-to-day functions of the government. All right. So a parliamentary system is definitely different, if you weren't aware of that, from a Republican form of government that we have here in the United States. And it is very interesting to theorize on this, as a lover of law, history, and political science, on how this would have ultimately worked in the United States. Now, in my humble opinion, I am not of the opinion that a parliamentary system would work in America. Why? Because we love electing our leaders directly, all right? And in a parliamentary system, the executive is chosen indirectly, all right? The individual who happens to be the leader of the most numerous party in the legislature becomes the head of the government in a parliamentary system. To put that in a more simpler format, in the course of a general election, whichever party has the most seats, ultimately, at the end of the day, let's say for the sake of argument in Canada, the Liberal Party, all right, whoever the head of the Liberal Party is becomes the head of government, aka the prime minister, and is essentially the one who runs the country, all right? The head of state is someone totally separate. In Canada's case, it is the British monarch, represented by a governor general. But the prime minister, who currently is Justin Trudeau, all right, is the one who actually runs the government, runs the country, all right, being the leader of Canada's Liberal Party, all right, the party most represented in that country's House of Commons, their analog to the U.S. House of Representatives. So, long story short, my book will, have America with such a system, a parliamentary form of government, as opposed to our Republican form of government that we have today. And, it will indicate the processes and hassles of the Federal Convention of 1787 in creating this system, and take us all the way down, to the very first election that we had, all right, and putting that system into force and function, and seeing how it is received by the American public. So, again, it will be entitled Creating a Parliamentary America, and as the progress on it continues, I will keep you all posted with respect to getting it published for you to be able to read. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you at the next video. Peace. Professor Shelton out.